Let's be really clear. Joe Biden owns this mess. Every single last tragic bit of it. What we are witnessing is history, and Joe Biden will go down as one of the worst presidents in modern times, thanks to what you are seeing play out all across television screens all over the world right now in Afghanistan. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Trish Regan Show. I am Trish. Just a reminder, make sure you go to trishintel.com, my website. You see it right there on the bottom, trishintel.com. Sign up for my newsletter because it's really important right now. There are a lot of people that don't want me saying the things that I'm going to say, but it's really important that we stay in touch together and that I have a way to communicate with you. You have a way to communicate with me. So go to trishintel.com. You can get all your news there. We get lots of politics and economics and markets and all that good stuff for you. But do sign up for the newsletter. Anyway, you look at what's happening right now, and it's a tragedy unfolding. I mean, I feel like the last 48 hours have been pretty excruciating. I mean, emotionally, right? Because you look at what's happening and you think to yourself, at least I think to myself, it was so preventable. It was so obviously preventable. And I realize, by the way, I'm not one that wants to be in Afghanistan or all over the world for that matter. I think that there's a lot of smarter things that we could and should be doing in terms of trying to address some of the foreign policy issues. Nonetheless, I will be the first to tell you that that's not how an American exits. No. Like if you're going to be there for 20 years and you are going to spend $1 trillion as we did, that's courtesy of Brown University, although the Biden administration estimates that it's more than $1 trillion. Brown estimates just under $1 trillion. If you're going to spend $1 trillion and you're going to lose 2,300 American lives, for goodness sakes, I mean, come on. And you can't even exit properly. You've got people literally hanging on the wings of planes, desperate as the U.S. Air Force takes off. I mean, this is just so wrong on every level. And you know what? It's his fault. It's his fault because he should have known better. But you got these guys in there that, they're too cool for school. They think they have all the answers. This Blinken, Secretary of State Blinken, thinks he knows. He knows how it's all going to go down. Apparently, there were people that warned of this. You had generals actually telling the Biden administration, no, do not get out this way. Don't get out this way because you will be left with disaster. Oh, and what does Biden say in his press conference? He says, well, gee, it happened faster than we thought. Then he also adds, well, the buck stops here with me, right? Because he's in charge. And then he goes on to blame Trump and blame Afghanis, saying, they couldn't fight for themselves. I'm sorry, but you know what? It is a total failure of the United States of America. If we spend 20 years there, we lose 2,300 lives and $1 trillion, and we can't teach people to be able to take care of themselves. No, that's not the answer. The answer is you went out too fast without any kind of strategy and any kind of program, and you left an entire population there, Joe Biden, to suffer. And I hate to think, and it actually really, really upsets me when I think of what the fate will be for so many women and so many girls. And where are the feminists right now? Where's AOC and Rashida Tlaib? No, they think that this is just great, right? Ilhan Omar saying we needed to get out. No. I mean, you may want to get out, but you get out like that? I mean, don't you care at all about individual lives? Clearly, they don't. And you know what? They don't care about women. These women that go on and on about feminists, they don't care. Because when push comes to shove, they'll let people dangle from planes to their deaths. That's this administration for you. It's tragic. It was preventable. It's inexcusable. And Joe Biden will go down as one of the worst presidents ever. And this is something that, frankly, is indisputable Both sides of the aisle right now are criticizing this. For goodness sakes, he doesn't even know who's there, who's not there. He's got thousands of Americans that are still in Afghanistan. And yet his own spokesperson, by the way, Jen Psaki took the week off. Smart girl, right? She knew exactly when to take off, apparently. But you've got this John Kirby out there on CNN who says this morning that his best guess, they're guessing, is 8 to 10,000 Americans that are still there in Kabul. I'm sorry, you don't guess on things like this, guys. You know what? You need to know. You need to be precise. You need to have a plan. There was no plan. They just pulled out. And we're seeing the consequences of this. So let me just reiterate. Biden doesn't know what he's doing. He's got people around him who do not know what they're doing. The Afghani people are paying the price. We will pay the price as a nation. We will pay the price because guess what? Al-Qaeda started there when the Taliban was operating there before. Al-Qaeda will start again. ISIS prisoners being released. 5,000 prisoners. That's one of the first things they do is release the prisoners. And they're in Kabul. Okay, so you're going to have a whole another problem. Again, avoidable. I point to Syria. We got out of Syria. Did you see this happen in Syria? No, you did not. You did not. And there's a reason for that. And that's because the previous administration actually planned it out. Unlike this joke of a president. And I'm sorry, it's not just on foreign policy. It's throughout. It's economic policy. It's defund the police. It's nonsense, okay? We're looking at the worst inflation we have seen in decades. Frankly, the 7.8% increase in consumer prices, that is the worst we have ever seen. That is record-breaking. This is all courtesy of Joe Biden. We are returning to the 1970s. We are returning to the Jimmy Carter era. We are being demoralized thanks to bad, poor leadership, and it is inexcusable. Please make sure that you go and you download this entire podcast. You can get the full audio podcast, the full thing on Spotify, on Apple iTunes. Make sure you go, you download that. It's important right now, again, that we have this connectivity and we are able to speak because so many people don't want this happening. You look at what Jenna Ellis just went through. Jenna Ellis, who was one of the attorneys to Donald Trump, she got her Twitter account suspended because she was upset about them bringing in people that she's not sure of as refugees into this country. I mean, I actually, my heart goes out to these people right now. My heart goes out to these refugees because I think it's so extraordinarily unfortunate what they're up against. But reminder, everyone, that, the Taliban now has a Twitter account, but Jenna Ellis cannot have a Twitter account, nor can the former president of the United States, which tells me that we've got our priorities really and truly out of whack. And we have an administration that's coming down hard on big tech right now and making the rules. Look, this may be banned right now. This may be banned because I said this. And how unfortunate is that I have to worry about something like that? Again, all the more reason to make sure you go to trishintel.com. Make sure you sign up for the newsletter. Make sure that you download, you subscribe to this podcast on Apple, iTunes, on Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts right now, because we are living in some pretty precarious, pretty challenging times with an administration that does not want people to speak their minds. But I'm always going to speak my mind. I'm always here, and I don't care. I don't care what they say or what they try and do, because you know what? The last I checked, we were still a free country and a capitalist one at that. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. I want to remind you again, go to trishintel.com, sign up for the newsletter, and I will see you right back here tomorrow.